You guys design, manufacture, you sell equipment. We're talking transformers, switchboards, power distribution units that are used in data centers. These are things that require consistent and reliable power over long periods of uptime. I just want to start with demand that you are seeing for the equipment and services. Who is buying? Is it hyperscalers? Is it smaller developers? Is it yes and yes?
The answer is yes and yes. So our end markets are roughly 50% vectored towards data centers, 30% vectored towards grid and utility, and the other 20% is in industrial and other. All three of those end markets are growing for us. And the question specifically you had in the data center space, we do see growth coming from hyperscalers, from the neo cloud folks, from the co-location folks, and also from the general contractors that are helping those class of customers build their actual units out.
Which business segment is growing the most and growing the fastest?
Yeah, the data center piece is definitely growing the most. Again, all three are growing, but when you have the demand like we're seeing in the data center space, the data center segment is definitely growing the fastest of those three.
Is it hard to find the right people to build this stuff right now? Because we're hearing about the tight labor market, that folks with these capabilities are hard to come by. The skilled workers just aren't there within our workforce. What are you hearing?
Yeah, it's a wonderful question. So in the last 12 months, we've doubled the population of our employee base. So we went from about 1,000 people a year ago to just over 2,000 today. So we've demonstrated that we can onboard 1,000 people inside of a year. And what helps is, one, we are in good geographic areas, north, south, east, west, of big populous locations. So we have a good big pool of people to pull from. And then we've also streamlined the system of hiring. So we will do massive job fairs, and within one day we'll interview people, we'll drug test them, we'll screen them, and then we'll let them know if they're going to have an offer pretty much that same day. So once we get them in, we put them through a rigorous training program, and that's one of the reasons why we retain such a high level as we do. So it's always a work item for us, but over the last 12 months we've demonstrated that we can add over 1,000 people, and I think we're going to need to do the same in the foreseeable future as well.
Hey, what kind of workers are you hiring? I'm curious about what types of workers you're looking for.
Yeah, we have everything across the board. So from a direct labor standpoint and indirect labor in our factories, we're hiring a tremendous amount of those folks. We also are hiring for engineers, salespeople, good finance people. So it's pretty much across the board, but there's no doubt the predominance of the headcount that we're adding right now is in the direct and indirect labor in the manufacturing facilities.
Are you having to pay up for those workers, or are they available?
No, we have had pretty good luck so far.
Okay.
We don't see too much wage inflation or wage pressure right now, so we've done a very good job of recruiting and training and retaining, and feel pretty good about that as we go forward.
I want to talk gigawatts in terms of size of data centers that you're working on. Are you seeing an appetite for the smaller sort of stealth projects, or are they the larger multi-gigawatt projects?
It is across the board. So I've been doing this for almost 30 years now, and there's no doubt that the size of a data center on average is so much larger today than it would have been 25 or 30 years ago. But if you look at our order book now, we will still take orders for a couple of megawatts of transformers or a couple of megawatts of switchgear, all the way up to customers saying, hey, will you help me with my entire electrical distribution chain? That might be a half a gig. So we are seeing the entire spectrum continue to matriculate in.
What are component costs like? I'm curious, walk us through the materials that you need to do what you need to do and what that supply chain looks like.
Yeah, wonderful question. So we are very vertically integrated in our facilities. So when you walk into our facilities, you will see laser cutters that punch the metal. You will see bending machines, welding machines, paint, assembly, integration. It is soup to nuts. So because of that, our supply chain is relatively simple in the grand scheme of things. The biggest materials we buy and the biggest costs of the bill of materials for us are copper, aluminum, steel, and so we have a very simple supply chain. Certainly, metals have had a little bit of volatility here over the last couple of weeks. Copper would be the biggest one of those, so we think we do a pretty good job of trying to mitigate that on the price side. But that, we're really very, very smartly vertically integrated, which provides for a very simple and flat supply chain.
So help me understand. We've talked a lot about certainly metals here. Precious, all kinds of different commodities here at Bloomberg, and watching it in terms of the supply chains. Where's it all coming from? A lot of it coming from China?
No, probably greater than 2/3 of the raw material that we get is sourced in the Americas. There's a little bit of electrical steel that we have that goes into some of our transformers. That is done internationally, but for the vast majority, we have not only a simple supply chain, but relatively local, meaning probably about 2/3 of it comes from the Americas.
We've been talking a lot today about Alphabet. It's actually only down 0.7%, but $185 billion in CapEx this year. A lot of people are asking questions about an AI bubble and if this spending is going to continue or if it's going to decline, if it's going to dry up. How worried are you about an AI bubble?
Yeah, it's a lot of it is a matter of perspective. So, in 2005, we had conversations around, how long is this data center, thematic going to last? Maybe we got a good 3 or 4 year run. If you looked at the infrastructure that was put in place in 2005 to what we were doing in 2025, I think we're going to see that type of phenomenon when we're in 2045, thinking about 2025. So will there be some volatility along the way? I'm sure there is. I don't worry about that for the most part. I think through the cycle, this thing's got stability. I think this truly is the 21st and 22nd infrastructure that we are building. And for us, there's plenty of market share that we can take as well. So the market will do what the market does. For us, if we deliver for our customers, we design high quality products, and we ship things in a safe fashion, we'll continue to take share just like we have over the last several years.
Hey, Gary, flip side from Tim's question, how concerned are you about keeping up with demand, which has become such a big part of the AI story? Is there a backlog that you can't keep up with the demand to do what you do?
Yeah, we very presciently, about 18 months ago, started on a $200 million capital improvement plan that was going to add 1.8 million square feet to our overall capacity. So we started with 500,000 square feet. We're almost done adding 1.8 to bring us to a total of 2.3. So while our backlog in the last calendar quarter did grow about 45%, which was phenomenal, we are also adding a tremendous amount of capacity at that same time. So, that's why our lead times have been pretty consistent. So it was very, very prescient of us to really start on that capital improvement plan before the massive wave really hit us.